Hey guys, welcome back to another episode here at Full Throttle. Thank you very much for tuning in on today's episode. Today we are performing a front differential fluid service on your Mercedes-Benz, or specifically a Mercedes GLK 350. Now this procedure is exactly the same on any X204 chassis or any W204 chassis in the Mercedes-Benz lineup. And honestly guys, it's probably the exact same procedure on many other models, but today we're going to be focusing on the GLK. Now, this is something that's going to save yourself a ton of time and a ton of money. The reason is Mercedes-Benz procedure for this fluid service is actually removing the front axle out of the differential, which in my mind is absolutely crazy. They did not add a fill plug in this front differential. So what we're going to do is actually use the drain plug to fill this. Now, you might be wondering, how are we going to do that? We're going to use the exact same adapter that you would need for a transmission service on a Mercedes. And what we're going to do is remove that drain plug, allow that fluid to drain out. And we're going to install this fancy thing right here. I'll leave lots of links down in the description below of where you can purchase this. And then we will pump the fluid actually into the front differential. All right, so we now have the belly pans removed from underneath the vehicle. This gives us a lot more visual of underneath. We have the main transmission here going back, the transmission pan. To the right side here, you can see the main exhaust on the passenger side and kind of the front coupler for the front drive shaft. To the right of us, we have the passenger wheel, just to kind of give you guys some reference points. You're going to need a 6mm Allen. It can either be like an Allen wrench or a socket style like this. And what we're going to do is remove this plug. Now, it's not very tight, which is actually quite nice. But you're going to crack that off, and then we're going to drain out the fluid. Now, there isn't a whole lot of fluid in this. It should be about 0.6 of a liter. So we're going to set this aside, get it cleaned. We do have a copper crush washer on here as well. You're going to want to make sure this is fully cleaned up before reinstalling. Now we're ready to install our adapter. This is going to allow us to easily pump the fluid into the differential. And then we'll remove this and then reinstall the drain plug. So I'm going to screw this in now. I'll leave a link down in the description below for these. These are also the exact same one that fits the Mercedes-Benz transmission pans. So you may already have one. All right, guys, so there's a few things that you should have nearby that's ready to go. Is your drain plug that's all cleaned with a fresh crush washer and ready to go with the socket or appropriate size. The other thing I would recommend is the fluid capacity is rated at 0.6 liters. And what I've done here is measured out 675 milliliters of fluid. So this is going to give me a little bit extra than the 0.6 liters that is recommended, but we're going to have a bit of loss while we remove the hose. We're going to have a bit of loss in the pump, and we're going to have a bit of loss removing this fitting here. So it just add a bit more, doesn't hurt, and honestly, by the time we lose a little bit of that, we're going to have roughly the proper amount. So basically, this is going to be almost exactly the same procedure as the rear differential. The only difference is, obviously, as we remove this adapter and hose, we're going to have a little bit of a loss. So at this point, we can now start pumping the fluid into the front differential. We're going to remove that hose and plug it. But basically, as I'm plugging the bottom of this fill adapter, we're going to slowly unscrew it. I also recommend wearing old clothes while doing this. If you get this on your clothes, I'm going to warn you now, it really does stink, and it's very difficult to remove the odor. So once you have that all the way removed, you can have your fill plug nearby and ready to go, and you're just going to swap them out. I will be honest, guys, that was a little more messier than I planned on, but we got the job done. And I know it looks like a lot of fluid, but honestly, we probably lost right around that 100 mil mark. So we should be right about on for our fluid level. And that's why it's always a good idea to add more than you need. At this point, once you have the drain plug reinstalled, you're going to want to torque it up. And then you can wipe down the area for any final cleaning. All right, guys, and once you have that drain plug reinstalled and torqued to the proper specification, you are officially done the front differential service on your Mercedes-Benz. I'll leave all the links down in the description below for everything we use today, differential fluid, that adapter piece that we used to help us add the fluid to the differential, and as well as that pump. These are all minimal costs to have this service done, and knowing you have fresh fluid in there protecting that front differential. And if you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to hit that like button. Leave your thoughts and comments down below. I love hearing from you guys. Check out the Instagram page at fullthrottle.bhp. And if you have any other concerns or comments, you can hit me up on Instagram, at email, or in the comment section down below, guys. Be sure to hit that like button, smash that subscribe button if you aren't currently subscribing to the channel. I greatly appreciate all of your love and support. And until next time, you guys know what to do. Keep her at full throttle.